Hello again, and I know I'm looking a little different. It's because it's daytime, it's morning. So I'm usually filming at night, but we're doing something a little different today. So, good morning. Um, what I'm talking about today is the significance of breakthroughs, the significance of really being thankful for the breakthroughs and not forgetting how beautiful they are. You know, um, I know that things aren't easy for, I don't think, anybody, but they are really good. And one thing that we could always be thankful for are our other halves. So, that is a constant. And that is definitely something that I run to when times get challenging. And after breakthroughs, sometimes things get a little challenging. I think that's another purge situation because usually a breakthrough comes after growth. But then after the breakthrough, it's like you're right back on the road again. You don't get that long of a pit stop. And so when your feet hit the ground again, don't forget that little, mini vacation that you just had. Not necessarily vacation, but those good feels that came along with that breakthrough. Don't forget that when, your feet are hurting and your, knees are burning, the asphalt's hot, sun is pounding. That's how it's gonna be. At least that's how I see it. But the thing is, it's like a good race. It's like a good challenge. And I recently have learned to kind of like rest in the goodness. And what I've noticed is that after significant progress will come this like almost dark period, almost like this point of like sadness. It could be, attacks, like spiritual attacks. It could be your own mind, having made room for more things to float to the surface that need to kind of be ironed out. It could be the jealousy of others, like vampiric kind of people who just seem to be designed to get in the way, and whether they kind of come to during this life or never come to at all, that's a tough shell to crack because I have not experienced someone like of this nature through the entirety of a life. I've only experienced these types of people, at least, through my experience, either in passing or they're still alive and haven't changed. So counting on that kind of person to change isn't really part of our agenda. Our agenda is just to move forward. And I will say that I have gotten to a point of being able to express something like that by ways of my twin flame. He keeps me positive, you know. He keeps me optimistic. He keeps me moving forward, you know. And I'm really thankful for that. And, you know, I thank God every day for him. And all throughout the day, like, because, you know, sometimes you feel entitled and sometimes you think, oh, it should be easier, or I shouldn't be going through these things and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, that's not very constructive thinking. And I, as a Christian person, know that that's kind of thin ice. It's thin ice for anybody. But one of the many things that I'm thankful for in Christianity and just Jesus Christ and those things in general, you know, I wouldn't say religion or my faith or something like that. That's just like a book on a shelf. But, you know, one thing that I'm really thankful for is, like, you know, being thankful and being forgiving, or at least practicing that. Because honestly, like, I think I'm forgiving, but yeah, like, I can hold a mean grudge, you know, and especially for ones that don't change. But I've learned how to kind of deal with that. So, you know, but it's all through, like, massive amounts of praying and things like that. But being thankful is, you know, one of those core attributes, because, you know, that was something that I was taught by my parents pretty hardcore. And whilst I didn't have the most ideal of childhoods, I did get some pretty good lessons. And I wouldn't say training like a dog, but we can just call it training. But yeah, like, it was instilled in me, you know, that you should just be thankful. Don't think that you're entitled to anything. And then it goes into, like, you know, all those things that people kind of mention when they're mentioning these things. And so I just try to just stay thankful and stay positive, even though, you know, I want what I want, you know. But pay attention to the progress, you know. Sometimes I'll forget the progress. I'll just think about where I am right now, being all cerebral and here and in my mind zone. And, you know, I'm like, right now I'm mad and I'm this and that and F it all. And, you know, my twin be like, whoa, you know, there was a lot of stuff that happened, right? A lot of good stuff. And then I'll have to go through my processes of tantrum, which can be long and strong. I will say that, man. Like, I can throw a mean tantrum, but then I want to do better for him. I want to do better for, you know, myself. I want to do better for the family, you know, like, so after I tantrum it out, then it's kind of like I'm able to, like, see when the smoke clears and kind of, like, do a quick recap of everything, you know, kind of like seeing how far you've come, how far we've come. And, you know, that helps like infinitely, you know, when you just think of just this lifetime, just recently, and you know, from that point of introduction to the point that we are now, then it's kind of like, okay, it has been a lot, and there has been a lot of progress, and I'm ready to get back in the ring, and you know, so that's what you can kind of pay attention to with, you know, your twin. They probably fill in those gaps and iron out those rough spots, and you know, just help you in ways that sometimes you can't help yourself, or help you in ways that they're better at than you may be. And I'm going to assume that I do these things for my twin. Like, I just can't imagine being the kind of help for him that he is for me. You know, like, I feel like I'm a sponge, and I'm just constantly in need of help and guidance and, you know, support, and, you know, a little calm word or two, you know, a little laugh, like, and I'm okay. Like, I'm fine with being needy like that, or whatever you want to call it. I'm cool. Like, I need it. I need you. So, you know, but I'm just trusting that I'm the same, you know. So, I know that I haven't been very specific in this video, but the point of it is pay attention to the progress and hold on to it through the duration of your process, especially like when things are on the up, you know, when they're on the down, or when they're in the tough, or whatever you want to call it. Just hang on to all the goodness that there is, because even though it's like things in your life might be tough, and it might be like all these mirrors, like every direction that you're looking in, you're like, why didn't this work? Why didn't this work? You know, it does have a reason and a purpose, you know. I've seen like so many instances of things in my life that all point towards he and I. And in addition to that, I've noticed that he is a reflection of my or a relationship with God. I've never imagined that, you know, because I've had my struggles with keeping my faith. Sometimes I'm like, you know, what's up? And something with us will reflect what's happening with, you know, what God's trying to teach me. And that's like a beautiful thing, you know? So, yeah. I'm not going to cry on camera, but I will say it's a beautiful thing, especially when you think, yeah. Yeah. When you think that, like, God's been mad at you for like a while, and you don't really know why, you just know that things are like hard. It's like when you have someone who like loves you like that and kind of can show you more about why God kind of does things, you know, in a certain way when it's kind of painful. It really helps out, and it kind of demonstrates that, you know, things are going to be all right. So, yeah. On that note, I think that I've said and done enough on camera. So, yeah. I think that people think that not just me, but I think others notice these things too. It's a very divine thing. So, on that note, I will see you next video.